Think of the smartest person you know, a doctor, a lawyer, a brilliant engineer. What if I told you that they are exactly the type of person a cult wants to recruit? If you stick around for the next few minutes, you are going to discover the terrifying psychology of coercive control. We will break down exactly how normal, highly intelligent people are systematically brainwashed, and how these exact same manipulation tactics might be happening right now. In your workplace, your friendships, or your romantic relationships. There is a dangerous myth that we all believe. We tell ourselves that only crazy, weak, or gullible people join cults. We look at documentaries about radical groups and think, I would never fall for that. I am too smart. But psychologists and cult deprogrammers have found the exact opposite to be true. Cults do not want weak-minded individuals. They want high achievers. People with resources, ambition, and a deep desire to make the world a better place. Why? Because idealistic, intelligent people are incredibly valuable. They can organize, they can recruit, and they have money. The recruitment process is never what you think it is. No one ever joins a cult. They join a self-help seminar, a passionate political movement, an exclusive wellness group, or a revolutionary tech startup. It starts with a tactic known as love bombing. Imagine walking into a room where everyone is instantly fascinated by you. They laugh at your jokes, they validate your deepest insecurities, and they make you feel like you have finally found your true tribe. Love bombing overwhelms your brain's dopamine receptors. It is a calculated psychological assault designed to bypass your critical thinking. When you feel unconditionally accepted, your guard drops completely. You start thinking, these are the best people I have ever met, once the hook is set. The real psychological dismantling begins. To understand how a person's reality is entirely overwritten, we have to look at the B.I.T.E. model of coercive control, developed by mental health expert Stephen Hassan. B.I.T.E. stands for behavior, information, thought, and emotion. Let us start with behavior control. The group begins to dictate your physical reality. It might start small. They suggest a specific diet to purify your mind. Then they dictate your sleep schedule. They keep you constantly exhausted with endless meetings, retreats, or demanding volunteer work. When your body is physically drained, your brain literally lacks the metabolic energy required to question authority. You are too tired to argue, you just comply. Next is information control. To brainwash someone, you must become their only source of truth. The group will tell you that the outside world is corrupt, blind, or actively trying to destroy you. They will discourage you from reading mainstream news or talking to former members. They label any criticism of the group as toxic negativity or spiritual attacks. If you control the information a person consumes, you control their entire perception of reality. They hand you a new lens. And suddenly the whole world changes color. Then comes thought control. Cults use loaded language and thought-stopping cliches. Have you ever noticed how insulated groups have their own specialized vocabulary? This is not an accident. By altering your language, they limit your ability to conceptualize complex thoughts. If a member starts to have doubts, they are trained to use thought-stopping cliches. Phrases like trust the process, or do not rely on worldly logic, or the leader works in mysterious ways. These phrases act as a psychological kill switch. They instantly shut down critical analysis and cognitive dissonance. Finally, and perhaps most devastatingly, emotion control. A cult manipulates your feelings to create extreme dependency. They manufacture a cycle of guilt, fear, and shame. You are told that your past self was flawed, sinful, or broken, and that only the group can save you. They instill phobias about leaving. They convince you that if you ever walk away, you will face financial ruin, spiritual damnation, or catastrophic bad luck. You are trapped in an emotional hostage situation. But why do not people just leave when things get bad? This brings us to the sunk cost fallacy. Imagine you have spent 5 years of your life, given thousands of dollars, and alienated your entire family for a cause. To walk away means admitting that you were conned. It means facing a devastating psychological collapse. It is often easier for the brain to double down on the delusion than to accept the crushing reality of the betrayal. Now, this is where it gets truly terrifying. We tend to associate these tactics with religious extremists or isolated compounds in the woods. But the exact same mechanisms of coercive control are happening every single day in ordinary settings. Think about a toxic, abusive romantic relationship. It almost always starts with love bombing. The abuser sweeps you off your feet, claiming you are their soulmate. Once you are emotionally hooked, the isolation begins. They subtly criticize your friends. They tell you that your family does not truly understand you. Information control, emotion control. Soon, your entire reality revolves around pleasing them and avoiding their unpredictable anger. Or consider a highly manipulative workplace. Maybe it is a startup that refers to itself as a family. They demand 80-hour work weeks, blurring the line between your personal and professional life. Behavior control. They foster an us versus them mentality against competitors or ex-employees. Information control. If you question the toxic culture, you are labeled as not a team player or told you lack vision. Thought control. You stay because you have already invested so much sweat equity. The sunk cost fallacy. Even toxic friendships can operate like microcults. A charismatic friend who demands absolute loyalty, isolates you from others, and punishes you with silent treatment if you do not comply with their rules. The psychology of brainwashing is not about wearing matching robes or chanting in a circle. It is about the systematic dismantling of a person's boundaries, identity, and critical thinking. It is about exploiting our fundamental human desire for connection, purpose, and belonging. No one is immune. Intelligence is not a shield against emotional manipulation. In fact, highly intelligent people are often the best at rationalizing irrational behavior once they are emotionally compromised. The only true defense is awareness by understanding the B.I.T.E. model, by recognizing the red flags of love bombing, isolation, and thought-stopping language. You can protect yourself and the people you care about from falling under the spell of coercive control. If you made it this far, leave a comment below. Have you ever experienced love bombing or coercive control in a relationship or a workplace? How did you break free? Do not forget to subscribe, and we will see you in the next deep dive into the human mind.